What is it that you want the people that come watch your lectures to take away from what you speak about?
Well, I think what I want them to take away is that prejudice and bigotry starts small, that there is a dehumanization process which is a necessary prerequisite, and that you can turn it off there if you become an upstander rather than a bystander. If you make your projected victim less than human, then anything you do to them later is acceptable.
Okay.
How old were you, and how did you know, you and your family know, what was going on with the Jewish community at that point?
Well, we found out little by little. First of all, we lived in Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia was a wonderful democracy. And even though my parents had already hosted German Jews who were running away from the evil that was Germany, the ones that could see the handwriting on the wall, we didn't believe that it would ever hit Czechoslovakia, because after all, we were a utopian democracy. And what we didn't know was that the moment the Germans occupied a territory, the Nuremberg laws took over, and the Jews of any occupied territory were as badly off as the Jews of Germany. The occupation took place when I was 9 years old. And as soon as the occupation took place, life just started sliding downhill.
I read, I believe, an excerpt or something from your book where it said that you went to school and a kid called you a racial slur. Like,
yes, a dirty Jew, right,
or something
right,
like that. How did you feel as a kid coming into this utopian democracy?
Well, it was a terrible blow because I was young enough to be very naive. It's a slur I have never heard, and it was a double slur. It was a slur against my religion, and it was a slur against my mother's origins, my mother's nationality. The Czechs were Slavs. There was no love lost between the Slavs and the Hungarians. But since my mother was really trying to become a Czech patriot and was married to a Czech patriot, there was never any allusion to her having a Hungarian accent or whatever. So this was the first time I was not only a dirty Jew, but a dirty Hungarian.
I understand that you and your family, when did that process start, when you started hiding in these safe houses, and how was that like?
Well, how was that like? It was filled with fear, but it was extremely necessary to survival. And it was a very long process. It started in the fall of 1939, and it ended when we were betrayed in the fall of 1943.
And when you say you were betrayed, I believe that someone turned you over?
Someone turned us in, yes.
Okay, and what happened at that point? That they just came in and
what happened at that point was that we were visited in our hiding place by what they called the Jewish Property Confiscation Team. And it consisted of a member of the SS, a member of the local secret police, a local collaborator, probably the person who turned us in, and a young Jewish attorney who was supposed to draw up legal confiscation papers, which would have been funny if it hadn't been so sad, because we had nothing left to confiscate. But what we did know was that once that happened, we would be in the next transport to Auschwitz.
I know your parents had to be afraid, but you as a kid, what was that they did? Is there anything that they did to comfort you, or how did you comfort each other as a family during those times?
Well, they always held out hope, this is going to pass. And they were there 100% for me. I was an only child. I was a truly overindulged only child, and as long as I was with them, I felt safe. I mean, even when we were hiding out, if there was a wall between us, I would knock on the wall in the middle of the night for a knock back, and if I heard the knock back, it was okay. When people ask me what was the most frightening or the worst point in your life, it was the day they separated me from my mother.